Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started for today, though. Go ahead and open up your language books to page 16 and 17. We do have our first language quiz today. I'm going to give you in a moment. Yes, sir. I checked most of them. Was yours out when I walked by? Okay. Thank you. Okay, good. Okay, good. Tristan, did you find your homework? Okay, you need to look and give that to me by tomorrow or it's going to go in as a 0, okay? Make sure we do our work and turn it in every day. That's going to help you pull up those grades by just getting our homework in, okay? All right, yesterday we talked about compound subjects and compound verbs. Compound anything means you have more than one, okay? A compound verb means I have how many verbs, class? 2 or more. Compound subject means I have how many subjects? 2 or more, okay? Remember that it just means we have at least 2. Sometimes we could have more than 2. And today we're going to talk about compound sentences. So based on what we know about compound subjects and compound verbs, a compound sentence means we're going to have how many sentences, guys? 2, okay? We're going to have 2 sentences, and we're going to have to make sure that we join them correctly. If we have 2 sentences that are joined incorrectly, does anyone know what kind of a sentence that is? What's that called, Shane? It's not a fragment. A fragment is when you only have one part of a sentence, but what is it called when you have 2 sentences that are joined incorrectly? Gavin? A run-on sentence. Very good. And when we have a run-on sentence, we have to correct those, okay? There's only 3 ways that we can join 2 sentences correctly. The first way is by putting a period and a capital letter. Okay, I'm using my proofreader's marks there. But we can separate those 2 sentences by putting a period at the end of the first sentence, capitalizing that first word, and just making 2 sentences out of it. Sometimes, though, that can lead to choppy sentences. We had mac and cheese for dinner. I like mac and cheese a lot. Okay? It's kind of choppy. We had mac and cheese for dinner, and I love mac and cheese a lot. Okay? So the other way that I could join 2 compound sentences is by having a comma and a conjunction like and, but, or, nor, for. There's some others. Those are your most common. Okay, so using a comma and one of these conjunctions. And the third way that we can join 2 sentences is by using a semicolon. If you join 2 sentences any other way, it's going to be incorrect. It's going to be considered a run-on sentence, so we need to watch that carefully. A common mistake between people, mostly younger students, is by using joining words like and then or and so. And those words sound great, but they're incorrect. That is not how we join 2 sentences correctly, okay? So only 3 ways: comma, or period, capital letter, comma, conjunction, or semicolon. Those are the only 3 ways you can join 2 sentences correctly. Let's look in the blue box. Gavin, read the top part of the blue box for me there where it says a simple sentence. Okay, so a simple sentence is a sentence that contains only one subject and one verb, either or both of which may be compound. That kind of sounds like contradictory, right? It can only have one subject and verb, but a subject and verb can be compound. That doesn't make sense. Yes, it does, okay? Because what it means is, for example, if you said cats and dogs were running and jumping. This is a silly sentence, okay, but it gives a good illustration of what I'm talking about here. Cats and dogs were running and jumping. What are your verbs here? Shout it out if you know it. You have a helper though too. Don't forget the helper. That's part of the verb phrase, okay? So we have 2 verbs here. We have an action verb, and a helping verb. Who or what were running and jumping? Cats and dogs. We have 2 subjects. We have two subjects, we have two verbs. Is this a simple sentence or a compound sentence? Shout it out if you know the answer. It is not a compound sentence. It is a simple sentence. We have two subjects and we have two verbs, but we do not have two sentences here. Remember that a compound sentence is a sentence that has two separate sentences. Do we have two separate sentences here? No. We still only have one sentence. Now we have two subjects and two verbs. So that's what that illustration, that little paragraph that Gavin just read, a simple sentence is a sentence containing only one subject and one verb, either or both of which may be compound. Okay? So there's only one subject and verb per se for this sentence, meaning there's only one sentence here, but we have two subjects and two verbs. Okay? A compound sentence would have to have a whole nother sentence here. Cats and dogs were running and jumping, but the birds were sitting quietly. Now I have comma conjunction, birds were sitting. Now I have a subject and verb on this side, eyes up here so we can understand this, and a subject and verb on this side. So understand the difference between a compound subject and a compound verb and a compound sentence. A compound sentence must have a subject and verb on one side and another subject and verb on the other side of either a period, a comma, not a period because that wouldn't be a compound, but a comma and conjunction or a semicolon. You have to have a subject and a subject and verb, meaning two separate sentences. Okay, so understand that difference. Let's look at the next little paragraph there. Tristan, read it for me where it says a compound sentence. Okay, so here's the definition of a compound sentence. A compound sentence is a sentence containing two or more simple sentences, usually connected by and, but, or, nor, for, or yet. Simple sentences may also be connected by a semicolon, which is stronger than a comma and does not need a conjunction. Okay, so they give you examples there. I want you to look at the box. I want everyone paying close attention. If you're not following along, you'll miss something. We have met the enemy, comma, conjunction, and they are ours. Okay, so here they show you, we have met. That's your first subject and verb. Then you have your comma and conjunction, and then you have they are, subject and verb on that side. We have two simple sentences being joined by a comma and a conjunction here. This is a perfect example of a compound sentence. Yes, Josiah? Oh, I'm sorry. It is compound. Gianni, if you missed what page we're on page 16 right now at the top, okay? And then look at the second sentence. Cast all your cares upon him, for he careth for you. Sometimes we get tricked up on these imperative sentences because imperative sentences are usually missing the subject because the subject is usually what in an imperative sentence? Understood you. So we have to just write that in. So our first sentence, we have cast. That's a verb. Who or what should cast? Well, understood you should cast all your cares upon him. Comma and conjunction for. He careth. We have another subject and verb here. So once again, this is an example of a compound sentence. Let's look at the next one. We have Pete raced toward home plate. Semicolon, he was out by 10 feet. Okay, Pete is our subject, raced is our verb. We have a semicolon in the middle, and then he and was is our second subject and verb. So we have another compound sentence. What do we want to look for if we're trying to figure out if it's simple or compound? Very simple, 6th grade. This will give it away every time. You're looking for a comma and a conjunction. Okay, one of those words. Or you're looking for a semicolon. If you have that in the middle of your sentence somewhere, Gavin, then you most likely 100% have a compound sentence. So then you need to look. Do I have a subject and verb on this side? Do I have another subject and verb on this side? That is the key. Look for your comma and conjunction or your semicolon. Okay, let's look closely in the yellow box there. It says, why are the following sentences not compound sentences? Let's read that sentence together, class, all of us. Ready? Begin. He healeth the broken in heart and bindeth up their wounds. Okay? Let's just look. Do we have anywhere in this sentence a comma and a conjunction? Yes or no? No. We have a conjunction. What is the conjunction? Shane? And. But is there a comma in front of it? No. So we don't have a comma and a conjunction. Do we have a semicolon anywhere in that group of words? Yes or no? No. That tells me right away I don't have a compound sentence. But let's look even closer. Let's try to look at our subjects and verbs. What is our subject and verb in that first part? He healeth the broken in heart. What is our subject and verb there, Josiah? Okay, the first one, though, he healeth, and then he bindeth. So we have a subject and verb, and we have another verb. We have compound verbs, but we don't have a subject and verb and a subject and verb. Okay, the subject for bindeth is the same subject for healeth. He healeth and bindeth. So this is just a simple sentence with a compound verb. Once again, the trick is look for the comma and conjunction or the semicolon. That will tell you right away if it's compound or simple. Look at the second sentence. Our desire and prayer is for your success. Do we have a comma and conjunction in this sentence, class? Yes or no? Shout it out. No. Be confident. No, there's no comma and conjunction in that sentence. We have a conjunction and, but there's no comma in front of it. Do we have a semicolon in this sentence, class? No. So we don't have a compound sentence here. In this sentence, we have two subjects. What are they? Tony? Desire and prayer. And what is our verb in this sentence? Liviana? Is. Desire and prayer is. Very good. I'm going to get my tickets out here and start rewarding those who are following along, paying close attention, because you will not do well in language unless you're paying close attention, okay? This is one of those subjects you really have to be engaged in and listen. Let's look at Think A now. Draw one line under each subject and two lines under each verb. Draw a box around the comma and conjunction or the semicolon that joins the two parts of a compound sentence. Number one, let's find our comma and conjunction or a semicolon first. What do we put in a box around in this sentence, Adam? Comma and the word but. Go ahead and draw a box around it. Comma and the conjunction but. That tells us right off the bat we're going to have two sentences here. In the first sentence then, the table is made properly. What is the subject and verb in this sentence, Landon? The table is made properly. That's the first sentence in this compound sentence. What are your subjects and verbs here? Give me the verb first. Made. What is your helper? There's a helper there right in front of it. Look at your sentence. There's a helper verb right in front of the word made. Is. Is made is your verb. Underline that 2 times. Who or what is made, Landon? Table. Table. Underline it 1 time. So we found our subject and verb in the first part of the sentence. Let's look at the second part of the sentence. But the chair's legs are uneven. What is my verb in this part, Adam? It's a linking verb. Are. Underline it 2 times. Who or what are, Adam? The chairs are uneven? The legs are uneven. In this sentence, chairs is being used as an adjective. It's telling us what kind of legs. It wasn't the table's legs. It wasn't the dog's legs. It was the chair's legs. So legs are your subject. Okay, so you should have underlined table once, is made twice. Put a box around comma and the word but. Underline legs once and are twice. Let's look at number 2. A large crowd gathered and the celebration was a tremendous success. What are we putting a box around, Gavin? Comma and the word and. Okay, Who can find the subject and verb in the first sentence? A large crowd gathered. A large crowd gathered. Liviana? Gathered is your verb, and who or what gathered? Crowd. Good. Who can find me the subject verb in the second part? The celebration was a tremendous success. Tony? Was, and then who or what was? Celebration. Very good. Let's look at sentence number 3. Olive. I have finished my homework. I still have some time for a snack. What are we putting a box around? Actually, not the I. Okay, just the semicolon. Remember we put a box around a comma and a conjunction, or we put a box around just the semicolon. The semicolon does not get a conjunction. It's strong enough to stand on its own because it's stronger than a comma. Okay, so just put a box around the semicolon. Okay, let's look at the first part of that sentence. I have finished my homework. Who can find me the subject and verb here? Josiah? Okay, make sure you get your helper there. You want the whole verb phrase. I have finished. So have finished is your verb. Who or what have finished? I have finished. Who can tell me the subject verb in the second part of the sentence? I still have some time for a snack. Shane, I'm going to call on you. Have, very good. And who or what have? I have. Good. Go into sentence 4. I sent my money a month ago, yet I still have not received my tickets. Tristan, what are we going to put a box around? Good, the comma and the word yet. Let's look at the first sentence then. I sent my money a month ago. Ariel, can you tell me the subject and verb in this part of the sentence? Good. Sent, and then who or what sent? I sent. Look at the second part of the sentence. I still have not received my tickets. Tony, what's the verb? Have what? Not's always an adverb. Have received. Who or what have received? Adam? I. And number 5. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. Leanna, what are we putting a box around? And number 5? And then what else? We're just putting it around and? No, we always put the box around the comma and the conjunction. So you need to include that comma. Okay? You'll notice on all of these, we've put the box around the comma and the conjunction. Okay, let's look at that first sentence then. Rebuke a wise man. Liviana, what's the subject and verb in this part? Good. And who or what should rebuke? Understood you. Good. You're going to have to write that in, guys. When you write the understood you in, you're just going to go to the side, and you're going to write the word you, and you're going to put it in parentheses. Anytime you have an imperative sentence, a sentence that is telling you to do something, a command, you're going to almost always have an understood you as your subject. Okay, so just be watching for those. Okay, and then who can tell me the subject and verb for the second part? He will love thee. Tony? And what's your verb? Excellent job. All right, look at think be. Thing B says draw one line under each subject and 2 lines under each verb. Draw a box around any punctuation and conjunctions that join the 2 parts of a compound sentence. In the blank to the left of each sentence, write S if it is simple. Write CD if it is a compound sentence. Let's look at sentence number 1. I went to the library, but I did not get any books. Do we have anything here that we need to put a box around? Adam? And? The comma. Comma and the word but. Make sure you include the comma, okay? You cannot have just a conjunction. You have to have a comma and a conjunction for it to be compound. Okay, look at the first sentence, or the first part of that sentence. I went to the library. What is our subject and verb here, Ariel? I and went. And let's look at the second part. But I did not get any books. Landon, are you focusing? Okay, we're right here. You haven't marked anything. You need to pay attention. But I did not get any books. What is my verb here in this part, Olive? Didn't get. Very good. And then who or what did get? I. Excellent job, Olive. Okay, based on what we just marked, is this a simple sentence or a compound sentence, class? Compound. We know that. We knew that the first time we put a box around that comma and the word but. Okay, we gave it away. Number 2. Is there anything that we need to put a box around here, Liviana? No. We do not have a comma and a conjunction. We do not have a semicolon. Can someone tell me what are the subjects and verbs in this sentence? Tony? Find me the verbs first. And? Landed. And then who or what buzzed and landed? B. Good. Class, is this sentence simple or compound? Simple. It has a compound verb, but it is a simple sentence. Number 3. Landon, I'm going to have you do this one for me. Is there anything in the sentence that needs to be boxed?
And the comma.
Good. Comma and? And then tell me, Landon, the subject and verb on either side.
Played.
Played. Who or what played?
Band.
And then on the other side?
Clapped.
Clapped. And who or what clapped?
People.
Good. And based on what we marked, is this a simple or compound sentence?
No. Oh, compound.
Compound. Why, Landon? It's the very first thing you found. You gave it away. The comma and the conjunction. When we have a comma and a conjunction or a semicolon, it gives it away that it's most likely gonna be a compound sentence, okay? And then beyond that, we found a subject and verb on either side. We had 2 simple sentences joined together by that comma and conjunction, so we know it's compound. Number 4, a dictionary and an encyclopedia are helpful research tools. Class, do we have anything we need to box? Yes or no? No. So what kind of a sentence can we already tell what this is? Simple. Okay? And then who can tell me the subjects and verbs? Ariel? Good. Dictionary and encyclopedia are your subjects. And what's your verb? It's a linking verb that we're looking for here. Are. Helpful is not something you do. You can help someone or be helping, but helpful is an adjective. You are a helpful person. So here it's a little bit tricky. It's helpful is a predicate adjective here. It's describing the dictionary and encyclopedia. Are is your linking verb, okay? Number 5, the Natchez and the Robert E. Lee raced down the river and headed for the finish line. Do we have anything in the sentence that we need to box, Liviana? No. So what can we tell already that this type of sentence is? Simple. Okay? Tell me what the subjects and verbs are, Liviana. Raced. Is that the only verb? There's one more. Headed. Yep, raced and headed are the two verbs. Underline those 2 times. And then who or what raced and headed? Yeah, the Notches and the Robert E. Lee. These are italicized, which gives us a hint that these are boats, okay? Especially since it said raced down the river and headed for the finish line. So those are nouns. So we have a compound subject here and a compound verb, but it's still a simple sentence because we don't have 2 sentences, okay? Number 6, Shane. Though Robert E. Lee won the race, but the Notches was not far behind. Do we have anything we need to box?
Yeah.
What is it?
Comma and but.
Comma and the conjunction but. So what does that tell us that this sentence is? Compound. Okay, so now that we have the comma and conjunction, we know there's going to be 2 sentences on either side. Let's see what the subject and verbs are. Shane, can you give them to me? The first one, the Robert E. Lee won the race. What is the subject and verb in this sentence? Careful. Won. Yep, he won the race. Here then, race is a noun. So won, and then who or what won? Good. In the second sentence, the Notches was not far behind. What's your verb? And then who or what was? Notches. Good. Number 7, Emmeline. Airplanes and automobiles often raced each other during the early 1900s. Do we have anything we need to box here? No. So what kind of sentence is this?
Simple sentence.
Good job. And then can you tell us what the verb is in this sentence?
Raised.
Good job. And then who or what raced?
Airplanes and automobiles.
100%. Emmeline, excellent job. Number 8, Olympic swimmers and divers must have great determination and must train for hours each day. Gavin, is there anything in this sentence that we need to box? No. So what kind of sentence is this? Simple. Do you guys see how easy this is? When you're looking for that comma, conjunction, or semicolon, you might look at those sentences and go, that's such a long sentence. It must be compound. No, it's not. Because we're looking for these 2 things. If we don't have one of those 2 things, it's going to be simple every time. Okay? Easy peasy. So we don't have anything that we're boxing in number 8, so we know it's simple. Gavin, can you tell me the verbs in this sentence? There are 2 of them, and they're verb phrases. Say it again. Must have and must train. Good. Must have and must train, and he did an excellent job at remembering the helpers, which makes that 2 verb phrases. And then who or what must have or must train? Troy or Tony? And swimmers and divers. Here once again we have compound subject and a compound verb, but we have a simple sentence. Number 9, Josiah, I haven't forgotten about you, so quiet there in the corner. Black clouds darken in the sky. Black clouds darken the sky. Lightning flashed along the horizon. Is there anything we need to box? Good. Box a semicolon. That means we have 2 sentences on either side, so that means we have what kind of a sentence? Compound. The first sentence, black clouds darken the sky. What's your verb? Darken. Who or what darkened? Clouds. Okay, just clouds. And then second sentence, lightning flashed along the horizon. What's your verb? And then who or what flashed? Lightning. Excellent job. Think C. Draw 1 line under each subject and 2 lines under each verb. Draw a box around any commas and conjunctions or semicolons that join the 2 parts of compound sentences. Basically just what we just did. In the blank at the end of each sentence, in the blank at the end of each of these maxims, write the sentence formula. Okay, so you're doing the same thing what we just did, but in the blank they want you to write, if you have a subject and verb and a comma and a conjunction and then a subject and verb, that equals compound. okay? If you do not have a comma and a conjunction or a semicolon, then you would just write subject and verb equals simple. Okay, so that's what they want you to write in the blanks once you figure them out. That is going to be for homework. Go ahead and close your books for now. We're going to take a language quiz. Gianni, watching at home, we are taking quiz number 1. You should have this in your packet. In this sentence or in this quiz, you're going to have to find your verb, and you're going to have to underline it 2 times. 6th grade, remember that a verb is a word that shows what? Action. If it doesn't show action, then it's going to be one of your linking verbs. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been, have, has, had, do, does, did, should, could, would, may, might, must, can, could. And then your taste, feel, smell, look, appear. All of those are verbs, okay? Once you find your verb, what do we ask? What 2 questions? Who or what? And that's going to tell us the subject. Always underline your verb twice, your subject 1 time. Real quickly before we take this quiz, someone raise your hand and tell me, what is an imperative sentence? What is an imperative sentence? Gavin? A sentence is a command. Eyes on me right now, okay? When Mrs. Roll's going over a quiz, your eyes should be up here because we listen with our ears. We also listen with our eyes, okay? A sentence that is imperative gives a command. Ariel, give me an example of an imperative sentence. Do your homework. Listen up. Sit up. Wash that car. Don't smile right now. All of those are examples of imperative sentence making a command. Someone tell me, what does it mean when a sentence has an inverted subject and verb? An inverted subject and verb. This is something that Mr. S went over with you last week. Does anyone remember what it means when a sentence has an inverted subject and verb? Gavin, do you remember?
It means they like swap or in a different place.
Yeah, it means they're in a different spot. Usually this happens with a question, okay? Like, what is your name? What is my verb in this sentence, guys? Shout it out. What is my verb? Is. Am, is, are, was. Is my verb. Who or what is? Your is? Name is. Here, my subject comes after my verb. That normally doesn't happen. With a sentence that is a question, it does happen a lot, okay? So that's what inverted means. It means the subject and verb are not in the right order. It means they're switched. And that usually happens when you have a question sentence, okay? So watch those. And then who can remember what is a verb phrase? A verb phrase. Just went over this yesterday. The difference between a compound verb and a verb phrase. What is a verb phrase? Josiah, do you remember? Need some help? Olive? When it has a helping verb. Very good, Olive. Okay, so swimming. I went swimming today. She was swimming. If we have a helper, was swimming, we need to include that helper, was swimming. That is a verb phrase. When you include the action verb plus the helper, make sure you know what a verb phrase is. All right, close your books up, please. Just have your pencil or pen out. I think you're using pencils. Take one and pass it back. Put your name and date on it. As soon as you get it, you may begin. Yes, sir. I will see if there's some in here. Try not to pull on your mask during the day, okay? Try not to break them. Gianni, go ahead and start that quiz. You'll turn it in on Friday, but if you can also have your grandma take a picture of it and email it to me. When you're finished, you can flip it over and get your spelling books out and start working on the test, your spelling mastery in your spelling books. When I see that you've flipped it over, I'll come and collect it. Thank you, sir. Check number 8 again. Look for all the sentences that have verb phrases. On the bottom section there, guys, you're writing the number of the sentence that has that particular, so like it says number 6, write the number of each imperative sentence listed above, okay? So you're going to write whatever sentence number has an imperative sentence, you're going to write that sentence number in the blank. So if it's sentence 3, then you're going to write number 3. You're not writing how many, you're writing the number of the sentence that has it, okay? And then you're writing the number of each sentence that has an inverted subject and verb. So whatever sentence has the inverted subject and verb, you're going to write that sentence number in the blank, okay? If there are multiple sentences that follow those criteria, then just put the numbers of the sentences separated by commas so I can see. Does that make sense? Does everyone understand what we're doing on the bottom there? Okay. Do you remember what a verb phrase is? Don't say it out loud, but do you remember what it is? Okay. There's more than just sentence 3 that has that. There's 2 more. Can you find any other sentences that have verb phrases? Same thing, Shane. Number 8. There's more than just one sentence with a verb phrase. Remember, you're writing the sentence and numbers in the blank. Yes. So write the number of each imperative sentence as listed above. So if any of these are an imperative sentence, then you're going to write that sentence number in the blank. Okay, so like if number 5 was an imperative sentence, you would write 5 in the blank. If numbers 4 and 5 were imperative, then you would write 4, 5. You're writing the number of the sentence in the blank that is an imperative sentence. Here you're writing the number of the sentence that has an inverted subject and verb. Okay, or maybe a verb comes in front of a subject. You're going to write that sentence number here. Here you're writing the number of each sentence that contains a verb phrase. So remember what we talked about a verb phrase. If it has the qualities of a verb phrase, which make sure you go back and check when you're underlining your verbs, are you getting the whole verb? More than just sentence 3 has a verb phrase. Check that one again, okay? Hey guys, as I'm coming around, I'm seeing a lot of people making the same mistake. Okay, there can be more than just one answer on that bottom section. When you get to number 8, there is more than one sentence that has a verb phrase. I need you to write all of the numbers of the sentences that have a verb phrase. There is more than one. Okay, when you finish, everyone should be working on your spelling mastery. Did you finish your spelling mastery? Oh, I know, but we need to be working on spelling mastery right now. You're going to have to do that later, okay? Because this is what we're working on right now, spelling mastery. Okay, you can come back to that. Right now we're going to be working on this. Okay, guys. Let's go through the spelling mastery together, okay? It says circle the letter yes if the word is spelled correctly. Gianni, we are on page number 5 in our spelling books. We are going to check our spelling mastery. Okay, it says circle the letter under yes if the word is spelled correctly. If the word is misspelled, circle the letter no under no and write the word correctly on notebook paper. Then use the letters you circled to solve the riddle. Okay, let's look at number 1, autonomous. Yes or no? Is it spelled correctly, guys? No, it is not. I'm not going to make you correct it on paper, but let's spell it correctly together. Okay, so let's begin. Ready? Begin. A-U-O-N-O-M-O-U-S. Autonomous. That Y should have been an O. Okay, so you should have circled the letter T. Number 2, interested. Yes or no? Yes. No, it's not. Circle the letter H. Let's spell it correctly together. Ready? Begin. Interested. I-N-T-E-R-E-S-T-E-D. Interested. It's missing that E after that first T there. Interested. Okay, number 3, celebrated. Yes or no? Yes. Very good. Everyone's eyes should be on your own paper. Number 4, inoculate. Yes or no? Inoculate. No, why? Why is it misspelled? Landon?
It has 2 N's.
It has 2 N's. It should only have 1 N. Let's spell it together. Class, ready, begin. Inoculate. I-N-O-C-U-L-A-T-E. Inoculate. Number 5, autoimmune. Yes or no? How many of you say yes? How many of you say no? How many of you are waiting to get the answer? I'm not going to give it to you. Circle what you think it is. Okay, let's vote again. How many of you think it's spelled correctly? Yes. How many of you think it's spelled incorrectly? No. Okay, it is actually spelled correctly. Autoimmune. It's like auto, like an automobile, and then immune, I-M-M-U-N-E. So you should have circled the E. Excellent job. Number 6, interrupted. Interrupted. Look carefully. Is that spelled correctly? Yes or no? Class? No. Let's spell it together. Ready, begin. Interrupted. I-N-T-E-R-R-U-P-T-E-D. Interrupted has 2 R's. Number 7, persuaded. Yes or no? Yes. Immersion. Yes or no? Yes. Number 9, disguise. Yes or no? Yes. Number 10, drowned. Yes or no? No. That one says drowned. That's a common mistake. I've heard a lot of people say she drowned in the ocean. It should be drowned. Let's spell it together. Ready, begin. Drowned. D-R-O-W-N-E-D. Drowned. Only 1 D there, and it comes at the end. Number 11, inherit. Yes or no? No. What does it need to have? Shout it out. An E instead of the A. Let's spell it. Ready, begin. Inherit. I-N-H-E-R-I-T. Inherit. Number 12, automatic. Yes or no? Yes. Number 13, incision. Yes or no? No. It needs to have a C. Let's spell it together. Ready, begin. Incision. I-N-C-I-S-I-O-N. Incision. Number 14, what is that word? Implement. Yes or no? No. The I there should be an E. Implement. I-M-P-L-E-M-E-N-T. Number 15, incinerate. Yes or no? Why? Needs to be a C where the S is. I-N-C. That first sound is a C. Okay, number 16, whispered. Yes or no? What'd you guys put? Yes. Number 17, imminent. Yes or no? No. Let's spell imminent together. Ready, begin. Imminent. I-M-M-I-N-E-N-T. Imminent. That ent at the end is an E sound. Number 18, imagine. Yes or no? Yes. Landon, you following along? Number 19, land an automobile. Yes or no? I asked Landon. Yes. Number 20, Landon, yes or no? Yes. Number 21, Landon, immigrant, yes or no? No, needs to have how many M's? 2. Number 22, class, irrigation, yes or no? Yes. Now you take the letters that you circled and fill in the blanks. And we'll have the answer to the question. The question was, why were the Middle Ages so dark? Fill in the answers. Let's see what you get. Why were the Middle Ages so dark? Shane, what's the answer? Because there were a lot of nights. A funny little joke there for you. That's your daily joke. I got another one for you. Why does the math book, always look so sad? Yes, Shane.
Because it can't cause itself?
That's a good one, but the answer is because it has a lot of problems. So you can tell that to your math teacher tomorrow. So I had a funny math joke. All right, guys, be ready for your pre-test coming up here tomorrow. Okay, study for that pre-test. Make sure you know the vocabulary words, the ones that are highlighted. Make sure you know the definitions for those. I'd really like to see some hundreds on this pre-test tomorrow. I'm going to hand out your assignment for homework tonight. Once again, this is due tomorrow, okay? This will help pull up your grade immensely if you don't do so well on your test. Just by completing these assignments on a daily basis will help pull those grades up, but you need to study. You need to have your book out and you need to study daily because it's not going to just come to you, okay? You have to practice, you have to work hard at some things. And spelling is one of those. Yes, sir. Can you what? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot. I don't know where they have them. You have an extra? You don't? Okay. Just give me a minute, Tristan, okay? Because I have some in another classroom down the way, and I'd rather get it there than have to go all the way down to the office. Okay, take your homework sheets out, please, so you can write in your assignments. For homework tonight, you are doing language, think C on page 17.
Do we have to do this?
Yes, you have to do the homework assignment. Homework is required. Nice try, though. Did everybody get one? Okay, so you need to do language, page 17, think C. Spelling, we already did test your mastery. Your homework is this worksheet I just gave you, and it will be graded. It is a graded homework assignment. So every answer you get incorrect, points will be deducted, so do your best on it. Penmanship, page 8. That is your other homework assignment. Go ahead and pull that out. We have a few minutes, so pull out your cursive book, please, and go to page 8. Then I will give you a few minutes to work on your homework. Okay, today is just review. It is the back side of what you did yesterday. Remember yesterday we were looking at our slant, okay? Be very, very careful with your slant formations. Be careful with your shape of your letters, your formation. Be careful with the size and your spacing, okay? So make sure to write carefully. Make sure you do your warm-ups. And then it says copy these sentences. Be careful to keep your slant uniform. So you're just copying A, B, and C below. Does everyone understand what we're doing on this page? Okay. You guys have 10 minutes before lunch. You can work on your spelling, your language thing C, and your cursive. Try to get as much done now so you don't have as much to take home. Gianni, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. If you have any questions, please email. Make sure to get those